We'll get started. Hello and welcome everyone to St. Mary's Central's Almost Home Evaluation Webinar. My name is Tech Brock and I'm the Director of Contracts and Data for St. Mary's Central. This is the second year of our Almost Home program, and this evaluation is the second in a series of evaluations of our case management programs using an outside evaluator. As a special note before we start the webinar, the art at the beginning of this PowerPoint was actually done by one of St. Mary's Central's longtime case management clients, Leon Kennedy, through, I believe, the art therapy program at St. Mary's. So to jump into the agenda for today, we're going to start with just a quick introduction to our speakers, and then jump into a little bit about St. Mary's Central and some background on the Almost Home program itself. Then do an overview of the evaluation and the findings from the evaluation, and then finish up with a discussion around kind of challenges and opportunities, and then leave time for Q&A at the end. Just some really quick housekeeping points. Please keep yourself muted during the presentation itself. If you have any questions during the presentation, please put them into the chat and we will get to them during the Q&A portion of this webinar. Also, feel free to ask questions during the Q&A portion, either through the chat or by unmuting yourself as they come up. Also, as a reminder, we are recording this presentation, and a recording along with the PowerPoint and final report will be sent to attendees in the next couple of days. So for today's webinar, we are joined by St. Mary's own Latiria Fletcher, our clinical director, who will talk a lot about St. Mary's case management work. And we're also joined by Alison Hamburg, our outside evaluator, who helped manage and run this evaluation for the Almost Home program. So before we jump into too much about the evaluation itself, we want to give a little bit of background. And we'll start with a little bit of background on St. Mary's. All of you may already know a lot about St. Mary's, but just really quick, St. Mary's works to improve the lives of seniors and preschool families impacted by hunger, homelessness, and inequity within West Oakland. And we support seniors experiencing homelessness through many different avenues. We currently have 41 beds and transitional housing that we provide to clients in need. We offer case management support to seniors, and we currently serve around 100+ seniors annually through our case management program. And our community center has about a membership base of about more than 200 individuals, where we provide everything from food to events to educational programming and just basic community and leadership development. This evaluation for Almost Home is looking at a subset of our overall case management program, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. So now I'm going to pass the baton to Latiria Fletcher, who will talk a little bit about what Almost Home is as a program.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. So in the 1990s, St. Mary's Center established an emergency winter shelter with 25 beds. Seniors receive shelter, food, and case management during the winter months, December through April. In 2020, as a result of the COVID pandemic, St. Mary's Center pivoted from congregated shelter to bringing services directly to the community. We did that through outreach, case management, and housing navigation. The Almost Home program was designed to provide case management and housing navigation to 25 seniors from December to June.
Hi, everyone. My name's Alison Hamburg, and I'm an independent consultant. I'm based in Oakland, and I partnered with St. Mary's to conduct the second year evaluation of Almost Home. The evaluation focused on exploring how the Almost Home program supported seniors whose ability to secure affordable housing has really been affected by disparities based on race, income, health, and other systemic factors. And through this lens, the evaluation sought to understand what worked well with the Almost Home program, what could be improved, and inform decisions about St. Mary's senior housing services in the future. We came up with 3 evaluation questions, focusing on number 1, who was served and what services were provided. Number 2, the quality of those services. And number 3, participant outcomes within that context of negative systemic impacts. The data sources included program records on participants' demographics, their history of homelessness, as well as the services provided and participant outcomes. And we also heard directly from clients and staff through a client survey, staff interviews and focus group, and a client case study interview. So beginning with the first evaluation question, this is where we examined the reach and the effort of the Almost Home program. So first, looking at who was served. The Almost Home program set out to contact at least 100 seniors between December and June to assess their needs and determine their eligibility and interest in the program. Almost Home ended up contacting 173 seniors during that time period and enrolled 25 clients in case management and housing navigation, which was the program goal. And so, as Tucker mentioned, the remaining data in this presentation is for that subset 25 case management clients. About half of the Almost Home clients identified as male and half as female. And age, as shown in the table here, was split across the different age groups within the senior population. Most of the Almost Home clients identified as Black or African American. And for just some context on the county level, the Alameda County 2022 point in time homeless count found that a little less than half of individuals experiencing homelessness in the county identified as Black, African American, or African. Almost Home clients were in fragile health at the time that they came into the program due to unmanaged medical conditions, trauma, and behavioral health conditions, all of which were exacerbated by living on the streets. We can see here that nearly all of the 25 case management clients, 92%, had at least one health issue and 2/3 had multiple health issues. Almost Home clients also had deep roots in Oakland and the Bay Area. You can see here 40% were born in Oakland and others in other areas of the Bay Area. And had long histories of homelessness. So 72% of clients met the HUD criteria for chronic homelessness. In terms of the services provided, Almost Home provided housing search and application assistance, linkage to medical care and health insurance, and navigation and linkage to a number of types of resources and benefits. And this included accompanying clients to important appointments, providing coaching on housing interviews, and maintaining housing. Case managers reported an average of 24 engagements with each client from December to June. And some clients may have had more or less than that, depending on their level of need and when they enrolled in the program, because some clients did enroll later in that program period from the December to June time. Case managers worked with clients to integrate medical, behavioral health, and housing supports, recognizing that it's really critical to achieve immediate stability while also pursuing long-term stability. And here we have a couple of quotes from case managers about their approach to addressing clients' needs simultaneously. So moving to evaluation question 2, we explored the quality of the Almost Home program by looking at how clients access and engage in the program's use of best practices, and client experiences and satisfaction. The program had simple eligibility criteria and enrollment process. This made the program easily accessible for anyone who qualified. This year, 2/3 of clients self-referred to the program, and others were referred by other agencies. And just in contrast, last year, the program had the benefit of having funding for outreach in the community by a food delivery team, whereas this year, the program really relied largely on client awareness and referrals. St. Mary's has a diverse staff of case managers who are trained in best practices, including harm reduction, motivational interviewing, and trauma-informed care. And this approach engaged Almost Home participants in a client-driven and non-judgmental way. St. Mary's staff also have strong connections in the community, and that allowed them to become aware of new housing opportunities quickly and to establish seamless linkages to medical care. Clients reported high satisfaction with St. Mary's staff and the support that they received. So of the 9 clients that responded on the client survey, all of them agreed that St. Mary's met their needs and that they were pleased with staff. And as you can see here, participants offered positive comments about their case managers. And so now moving into the third evaluation question, we explored the impact of the Almost Home program with the perspective that in large part, system level factors determine client outcomes related to housing placement, income, health, and connection to resources. So in that context, how is Almost Home supporting clients to survive and thrive? Almost Home supported clients in both tangible and intangible ways, recognizing that housing is one of many building blocks in a network of basic needs and connections that support wellness and dignity. And clients' responses to the survey reflected that. For example, getting linked to medical care was the most commonly reported outcome by clients, and feeling capable of facing the challenges in their life was the second most commonly reported outcome. In terms of the housing outcomes for the 25 case management clients, between December and June, 8 clients were placed in permanent or transitional housing. 8 clients received temporary housing in an extended stay hotel. And really reflecting just the length of time that it really takes to find housing, the majority of clients continued participating in case management and housing navigation with St. Mary's after the official program end date in June. In addition to housing, Almost Home supported clients' health, well-being, income, and connection to resources. And many clients reported feeling better about themselves and their health. Clients offered comments such as, "I've been able to be the person I should be, and St. Mary's gave me a new lease on life." And I'm now going to pass it on to Latiria to discuss some of the challenges and opportunities that came out of the evaluation.
Hi again. So some of the challenges that came out of doing this evaluation was the limited availability of housing that meets our clients' needs. As we know, the seniors are not included in the same way in our coordinated entry system. And so they depend on housing for programs that are specifically for seniors, and those applications don't come out often. There's not enough housing for seniors in Alameda County. The length of time it takes to secure housing can be up 3 to 5 years. And so during that time, folks are still on the street or in shelter. The burdensome housing applications, filling out multiple applications. We had one client, I believe, that filled out 35 housing applications. And by the time they met me, they were just done with filling out applications because they weren't getting any results. And insufficient resources to support people in maintaining their health and housing throughout their lifespan. So those are the challenges that we found. Also, that clients need vaccination for any type of service delivery throughout Alameda County was a barrier at one point, less of a barrier now. Our community center activities and outings were limited, and isolation continued to impact clients' health and quality of life during the pandemic and continues to this day. Moving towards opportunities, securing funding to expand the Almost Home program to a full year program with capacity to increase the numbers of clients we serve. Assess how St. Mary's can better meet seniors' immediate housing needs. Increase the outreach and collaboration to streamline enrollment and reach clients who may not otherwise learn about St. Mary's Center. Keep supporting staff to prevent burnout and compassion fatigue. And expanding data collection and evaluation to continue program learning. Now I will open the floor up for questions and discussions.
I'll go ahead and stop the screen share so we can all see each other a bit better. But if anybody wants to return to the PowerPoint to see any of the previous slides, refer back, I can always bring that up again.
Yeah, I see no questions in the chat for the moment. So if anyone wants to either unmute or ask or put a question in the chat, feel free to go. And I see Mr. Wade Kidd has raised his hand.
Hey, thank you. It's interesting to learn about this program and the evaluations. It looks to me like certainly St. Mary's seems to have a more comprehensive and intensive approach towards its clients than say in general people who are homeless in encampments or on the street. I think you said most of them are self-referred. I know it's really, as you pointed out, it's really difficult to find housing. And I assume when you say waiting list of 3 to 5 years, that's referencing the sort of affordable housing and low income housing that's being built by nonprofits like Saha and Abalsi and so forth. In the recent auditor's report about the city's homeless program, one of her criticisms was that the city can't follow up once people are referred or find housing. As St. Mary's tried to do that, in other words, the 8 people who were placed in permanent or transitional housing, do you make any attempt to follow up to see how long those people can maintain that housing?
Yes, I will take that question. When they find housing, we keep their cases open for 6 months to a year to make sure that they maintain that housing. During that time, we're increasing their community supports, and we will keep a case as long as we need to.
Well, thank you. One little follow-up question. How do you maintain contact, especially with the people who are using the the shelter program, the 25 who are using the shelter program? I assume they come into they return to St. Mary's in the evening when when the shelter opens. Is there, what is the means of maintaining contact with them at other points?
So we have breakfast and lunch here daily. That helps a lot. And then we go out and we do outreach. We generally know if we place someone in a shelter, where that shelter or that settlement is located, and we find them there. Also, HMIS system helps locate people, because any other time they come in contact with another service, there's a note put in that I can track and find out where that person is.
All right, well, thank you. That is part of the intensiveness of it. I mean, doing that kind of outreach it takes a lot of effort.
It does.
Thank you.
If I can just chime in, I'm Sharon Cornu, I'm the director here at St. Mary's Center. And thank you, Latiria, for that answer, and Ray Kidd for your many years of leadership in the neighborhood. For decades, St. Mary's Center operated a winter shelter on site. And during the pandemic, we have had to cease hosting shelters. So we don't have people coming on site for shelter at this time. And our board will be making a determination about the future of congregate shelter, the safety in terms of health aspects as well. What Latiria's team has done is to take some of the funding that's available through the pandemic, through the state and the county and city, and we thank our partners, to be able to do short-term host and some longer-term hotel stays, to be able to place seniors while they're waiting for permanent housing. So that's then our case managers follow up directly with people there as well.
Thank you, Sharon. I wasn't clear about where the congregate shelter program status was at this point. Thanks.
Yep.
I see no question in the chat still, but there was a question about the people that will later arriving, if there was going to be, because there's going to be sent out, and it will be sent out along with with this recording, a PowerPoint, and the final report will be sent to everyone who attended today. But yeah, any additional questions on this evaluation?
Tucker, it's not exactly a question, but I just want to comment that the Sunday dinners, now that they have resumed, are a very helpful opportunity for members, clients, former clients to come back to St. Mary's and to enjoy St. Mary's Center. So in talking with some of them, I agree with, I think it was under opportunities. One of the difficulties for people who have not been fully vaccinated are not allowed back into St. Mary's Center. And I totally understand that, but that is keeping some people out on the street. And last Sunday, one woman who was a former client for years and years asked, but is not vaccinated, asked about getting a meal, which Dev very kindly acceded to and brought out to the street for her. But I think that is one difficulty right now at this place and time.
Yeah.
I also know that some of the clients who do come on Sunday and have been helped by St. Mary's in the past and are now housed are just still very grateful for all of the help that St. Mary's has been able to give. I did want to ask, are all of those percentages that you gave, that for the Almost Home program, that only applies to 25 seniors? Was that correct?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I'll respond to the vaccination question. So seniors can come on the property unvaccinated. We will provide a meal for them outside. And we are in current discussion about how to change that along with the county.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I see two questions in the chat, and then I see a hand raised. So to start with the questions in the chat, there's a question about 3 to 5 years. Is that the average for all clients or for seeking housing in general? My understanding is that's the average that we're seeing with all clients. I don't know what all kind of the statistics for other agencies working with the homeless in this area or in Alameda County in general, but at least for seniors, I know because of the high cost of living and because of the unique needs of housing in terms of seniors needing, housing that fits their, physical needs, or housing that is nearby medical facilities that they can take part in. 3 to 5 years seems to be the average for all clients at St. Mary's. And then there's a question, what do you find to be the main reasons for clients not getting vaccinated? Latiria, could you answer that question?
I think the short answer would be distrust in general of the vaccines, a lack of education. There's not a lot of access, but some people have made the choice not to get vaccinated. And what I hear largely is because they do not trust the vaccines.
Thank you, Latiria. And I see Mr. Kidd has his hand raised.
Thank you. Another question occurred to me. You said that there are 25 people in the Almost Home program out of, I think it's 173 that you interviewed. And almost all of those have one or more health conditions. Was that one of the criteria for selecting the 25? Is that you wanted to get the most vulnerable, the most fragile with the most health conditions?
Let's, if I can, let's, St. Mary's operates a number of different programs under the Senior Homeless Services clinical team. And the subset that was selected for this particular evaluation is 25. at any given time, the clinical team manages, and I see several members of that team on the call, between 125 and 150 seniors in intensive case management. So that just, but this is the subset that was selected for this study. So, and yes.
To answer your question is no, they were not selected as a group with medical conditions. That was just the findings.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then I see a question in the chat. How much funding do you estimate would be needed to make this program a year-round program? Would you need to expand staff? I think I can try to answer, although I imagine Sharon or Latoya, you may have a question, you may want to answer too. But I'll try to answer as Director of Contracts and Data. I definitely think we need an expansion in terms of some of our funding. I can't really put a dollar amount on that, but I would think we would need an expansion at the very least in terms of helping us with getting things such as hotel vouchers or paying for hotel stays for clients. I know that, 2 years ago when the Almost Home program first started, there was a lot more options in terms of kind of temporary or bridge housing. And as COVID has, it's still out there, but it's slowed down a little bit. Some of those options gone away. And we found that, putting people into, hotel for a time and then moving them into transitional or permanent housing had a big impact on folks. So I definitely know we need some funding towards that. And in addition, that would also necessitate some additional funding to staff time. In terms of expanding staff, I think we probably would need to expand staff a little bit because St. Mary's does try to stay to a pretty strict, for the moment, 25 clients per one case manager. So if we made this program year round, we'd probably look into serving more clients. And if that was the case, we'd want to bring in more staff. Latoya or Sharon, either you have something to add to that?
I'm going to add, and I'm definitely sure Sharon wants to as well. One of the things that I'm encountering is severe mental health issues with many of the clients that we are outreaching. And we don't have enough capacity to meet their needs. So additional staffing would be beneficial. Yeah.
Thank you, Latoya. And I'm confident between our contracts and data team and the clinical team, we could, to answer Sophia DeWitt's question, Reverend DeWitt's question, we could absolutely create a proposal for how that would work. I see many of our valued funding partners on the call, and we want to appreciate our city supporters and our county supporters, all of the agencies that help bring resources to this program. I want to appreciate Allison Hamburg for her dedicated work to help us understand how the program was working and what the outcomes look like. I do want to say that St. Mary's had expanded from a December 1 to April 30th shelter year to really, which was a 5-month program, to a 7-month program. And we're now looking to be able to operate this year round because the 5 or 7 month time frame is not long enough to get a senior fully stabilized, housing ready, documented, and through enough of the waiting list process to be in permanent housing. So we're very excited to take what we've learned through this process and determine how we can operate year round. Traditionally, St. Mary's has done that by keeping seniors in case management after the funding has ended. So I do appreciate the question about, is there a staff and funding need to be able to do that? We remain deeply committed to the mission of being a community of hope, healing, and justice, and to serving seniors and to meeting the increasing need for permanent housing by building housing in our partnership with Saha at 3135 San Pablo. That will be 73 new units for seniors online in a couple of years. And by the excellent case management work that our team does to help seniors become and remain housed. We're a few minutes over. I think we want to appreciate everybody's time. If you have more questions, please feel free to email us. And I know that the team will make sure that the report, the slides, and the recording get out to people. We're very appreciative of your time. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. Great presentation.
Thank you, Sharon. And staff.
Thank you.
I echo, thank you all.